If you guys want to actually start making money and stop wasting time or losing money with Amazon FBA, you need to stop doing these 3 things. I'm willing to bet a lot of you are actually losing a ton of money, or you might even think you're making money, but you're actually not, and the cash flow is just covering it. And the bottom line is, if you want to make money with Amazon FBA, you need to do things right, and you need to actually look at the process that you're following and look at your numbers and also look at the products that you're buying in order to start actually turning a profit and stop wasting hours and hours and hours worth of time within your business. So first and foremost, the thing that I see a ton of new sellers do, and it's very obvious because you could see it on the buy box share, is a lot of you are probably either setting your repricer to drop the price or just continuously dropping the price thinking that it's gonna make money. And the problem with this whole thing is if you consistently drop the price on your items, you're not only hurting yourself because you already paid to buy that item, paid to prep it, paid to ship it, paid the storage fees, you're hurting everybody else that's on that listing because there's no reason to start penny pinching and dropping by a penny to get the buy box share. Newsflash, being a penny lower is not going to increase your buy box chances 90% of the time. A lot of you don't even realize that you could actually hold the buy box with a lot higher price point than other merchant fulfilled sellers or even other FBA sellers depending on your location as well as your reviews. So rather than consistently dropping the price after you already spent all this money, time, energy, and effort on getting the item into Amazon, put your sell price there and wait. If there's somebody that's just a little bit lower than you, there's no sense in trying to actually compete with them and sell out before them because it's just going to create a war when you're going penny by penny dropping until it's a race to the bottom. Instead, let those guys sell out. It'll probably take a matter of a couple of days if the item is good, and then just sell your product at a higher price point. There's no reason to even bother with these bottom feeders that are consistently dropping prices and tanking out all the listings compared to the rest of us. Do not set your repricer at a penny dropping algorithm because it's not going to make you any extra money and it's not going to hold the buy box for you at all, I promise. The next thing that a lot of you guys need to stop doing is once you find a good item, buying a ton of units of that. You actually don't have all the sales data you need until you start to make purchases. What does that mean? Keepa, Buybot Pro, and all the different tools are actually really good in giving you baseline information on whether or not an item is good to buy for Amazon. But the thing is, the best information or the best data is after you've actually sold an item. So rather than buying a ton of one stock because you think it's a good deal, you need to buy thousands of different products or hundreds of different SKUs or a bunch of different stuff. Basically, whatever your budget is, you want to spread it out over as many ASINs as you possibly can rather than buying thousands of units of one ASIN. It's going to mitigate your risk and also teach you what is a good item and what is a bad item based off of your sales data, not just Keepa charts. So Keepa is a good baseline to see what you should and shouldn't buy, but the bottom line is the stuff that you want to double down on is a mix of Keepa and actual sales data based off of what you have actually sold so far. It'll make sense as time goes on, but you're going to want to go wide and buy as much different stuff as you can and not go deep buying a ton of the same stock of one different item. You're going to hurt yourself in the long run. Spend the extra time during research to test out a bunch of different SKUs, kill off the ones that don't do so well, and double down on the ones that do well. The final thing a lot of you guys need to stop doing is when you see these big Amazon sellers on Instagram and all the different social media platforms, stop looking at what they're selling. The bottom line is you're not going to actually find the distributor that they're using. And even if you do, you're not going to get the same pricing that they're getting based off of your first $1,000 order compared to their 3 truckloads a month. So it's not even worth looking at what distributors they're looking for or where they're buying items or what items they're buying. Stay in your own lane, pick a niche that you actually want to work with, and double down on that one. Look at what you want to be selling or what you can get your hands on or the stuff that you're finding and just go there. Instead of looking at what all these other guys are selling and thinking you're going to copy their SKUs or things like that, because they're not going to give you their best items. They're not going to show you where to buy them from. So rather than trying to find it, just go look for your own stuff. There's millions of different products on Amazon. You're better off trying to find your own things and getting creative with the ways that you find them than just trying to copy and paste the same thing that the biggest Amazon seller on Instagram is doing, because you're not even going to be able to compete with them if they're buying truckloads of a product from the same vendor and you're buying $1,000 worth. So you just wasted your time. And even if you think you're going to get there faster, you're actually not, because they're just going to outbid you, or they're going to kill it off and tank it out and then let you have it, which then it's not good anymore. So it's not even worth having. Spend the time looking for your own vendors, your own research, your own products, your own different categories, and don't go for the things that everybody says to sell because everybody talks about grocery. The less pretty categories will make you more money long term because there's less competition and less people fighting for all the buy box shares, and it's a little bit harder to find items, yeah, but when there's no competition on them or very little competition, you're gonna make more money long term.
You know what? You're right. I can do this.
Try and reinvent the wheel. So yeah, you're gonna take the business model of buying name brand products and reselling them on Amazon, but don't go and look for every item that the big sellers sell because you can't compete with them. Go and look for your own stuff that nobody's looking at and test it out and see what works and double down and kill off the stuff that doesn't work. You're gonna be a lot better of a seller and a lot more informed if you go that route compared to just copy and pasting what everybody else is doing. You'll make more money that way. So the bottom line is, if you want to make more money for your Amazon FBA business, you need to stop dropping the price, you need to start going wide and not deep, and you need to stop copying what every other seller is doing in order to make money. Stop doing these things and you will save a lot of time and you will make a lot more money in the long run if you can just do things yourself and think for yourself rather than copying and pasting off of everybody else. That's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed and thank you for your business.